Hey, hey, hey! Welcome to another Deliberate Millionaire live stream. How are you doing? I'm Rosemary, Nonny. I am the Prosperity Minister, and I support you in leaving behind the pain, the limiting stories of the past, and rise victorious in your true design life. Whatever that looks like for you, my love. Okay, let's get me up on the screen right here and make sure that I can hear myself. Okay? Okay, so being selfless is... Actually, let me just make sure I can hear. Okay, cool. I can. Let's silence that. Being selfless, honey, is actually a very stupid thing to be aiming for. And I know it is probably what you've been trained to aim for. Especially as a spiritual person and a good-hearted soul. You're supposed to be selfless and you're supposed to, serve the world and all of that wonderful stuff, which I'm not going to say it's not wonderful stuff. But it's also not wonderful stuff. Let me tell you, there's kind of like a continuum of growth. There's the selfless, which is in some ways the very lowest of the low, and I know it's not necessarily what you've been taught. Then you progress to being selfish, when you suddenly realize that actually you are a pretty important part of this equation. And then you go on to, and this is not even a word, but you become full of self. Self-full, you can call it. So you move from being selfish or selfless, where you think that is actually the great place to be. You've been taught by your religion. Hey, Sonia, how you doing? You've been taught by your religion and all of that stuff that you need to come last. I grew up singing songs such as J-O-Y, J-O-Y, this is what it means, Jesus first, yourself last, and others in between. And we're told about, so we're told and taught by our parents, by religion, by extended family, by everybody, education system, everybody is all about you giving up yourself in order to serve the world. And it sounds amazing, except you have nothing to give the world because you don't even know who the frick you are, frankly. Okay? And so there you are trying to be of service and you're feeling resentful and you feel guilty, because you're ultimately hiding from yourself, and you were trained to do this from a very young age, okay? And I'm really here to start battering some of those random crazy ideas that keep you trapped in a life you do not even enjoy. You feel resentful, honey, when you give because you are giving from nothing. You have nothing to give because you never learned who you were. From a very young age, you learned that you needed to be somebody else in order to be approved of, in order to get any kind of love and affection. You learned that you learned it at church, whatever your religion is, you learned it there and everywhere, everyone taught you that you need to be selfless. But if there's less of you, what are you giving? What is it that you're giving? For some of you hearing this for the first time, it might sound really kind of selfish, as if selfish is a bad thing. I learned fairly quickly, not that quickly, unfortunately, that when people called me selfish, it was literally because I just wasn't doing what they wanted me to do. Okay? And so I learned to stop listening to that. I just thought, yeah, I'm selfish. What are you going to do? Ultimately, and I actually started to, yeah, I am. I am actually quite demanding. I am quite stubborn. And I am pretty proud of who I am. Okay? And I even did a video about this. Demanding, stubborn, and proud. Yes, I know those things are things that we were told we shouldn't be. But if we are going to make a difference on this planet, it is you, honey. When you know you, your true design self, that is what is going to make a difference on this planet. It isn't you pretending to be what you think the world needs. It is you that the world needs. You are the answer that the world needs. But if you don't know who you are, what the freak are you giving us anyway? Because what ends up happening is a lot of people together trying to get their needs met from each other. And so even you feel it. That's why you feel so resentful. It almost feels like somebody's trying to drag out your life force because they need it in order to survive. Because nobody is living in connection with the divine or in connection with themselves. Most people are you're living for other people. You're hoping that if you just act nice enough, if you just do what they want you to do, they will love you. They will stay around you. You won't be alone. but you already feel alone. You already feel broken. And you keep trying to give and give and give from nothing. You have nothing to give. You're giving and giving and giving. And all the time, there's something inside of you that is screaming out, hear me, hear me. I'm in here. Please pay me attention. But whenever you hear that voice screaming inside of you, you think it's somebody else needing your help. You go out there looking for somebody else to help, to serve. You tell yourself you're serving, but actually what you're doing is getting your needs met. Your need of approval, your need of being needed. You're getting your needs met, telling yourself that you're giving, but you're not. Again, we move from being selfless, which everybody tells you is a good thing, to being selfish when you suddenly realize, I can't keep doing this. I feel as if I'm giving, I feel empty. When you finally admit that there's this low-level depression and anxiety in you all of the time, and then you start actually asking yourself, why is this? Why do I feel this way? It's because you don't know who you are. You're giving more than you have to give. You don't have to give because you don't even know who you are. Since you were young, you've been performing for this person and that person, and working really hard and struggling to get what? If you don't already have it inside of you, honey, you're not going to find it out there. And so you move to selfish. You suddenly sort of realize, you know what? I deserve my own affection and attention. I'm going to start giving my thing some attention. And as you start doing that, you open up, because we as spiritual people, we have a direct line with the divine. We all do. It's not just as spiritual people, but we as spiritual people admit that there is something more than us. Hey, Avis, how you doing, my love? Good morning to you too. We admit that there's a connection with a higher power or something. And as you connect to that higher power, and you start allowing love to flow through you, unconditional love, like I spoke about yesterday, unconditional love, not some love where you think that the only way to stay connected to this higher power is if you're performing for this higher power as well. Oh, I have to please God. And he's going to use me. All of that stuff that sounds so holy, but actually drains you if you're honest. When I talk about connection, it's actually, because I remember the divine saying to me, Rosemary, will you let me love you? Will you let me love you? Because a lot of us are trained to, I love the divine, I love God, I'm going to give my life to God, I'm going to give and give and give and give. Again, same thing. You think you're being selfless. But what you're doing is giving from what there is nothing to give. You have nothing to give because you never received. You didn't allow yourself to receive. But when you actually connect in the way that I talk about, you actually then have an overflow. And out of that overflow, because you finally allowed yourself to be selfish, so you filled your cup up. And out of that overflow, because you start flowing out, you now have something to give. Then, because you're full of yourself, you can flow out and you have something to give. You can fulfill the calling and the service that you want to deliver on the world, because finally there's something inside of you to give. But most people are trying to give from empty. You don't have anything you're trying to give, and you wonder why you feel so resentful and angry and frustrated. It's because you have nothing to give, and you haven't taken the time to figure who you are out. You're still performing, but you don't even know you're performing. Honeys, it's time to awaken, my loves. Move away from selflessness to being selfish for a season. Allow your inner child to wake up again. Allow yourself to receive what you need to thrive. And then out of your abundance, out of your overflow, you can give. But until you allow yourself to go through that process, you will continue to feel resentful, empty, and freaking alone, even though you're surrounded by people who all need and want something from you. You'll still feel alone. You'll still feel that frustration, resentment, and you'll be beating yourself up saying, I'm not supposed to feel resentful that I'm giving. But of course you are. You're giving from empty. I hope you hear what I'm saying, my loves. There is another way. It's a more enjoyable way to do life. And remember, you're here on planet Earth to enjoy being here on planet Earth. Give yourself permission to thrive. I'm going to leave it there for today. I really, really encourage you strongly to come into the Abundance Library. If you resonate with the work that I do, come into the Abundance Library. It's a place to begin. Immerse yourself in the Abundance Library. I don't care if you've done it before, you need to do it again and again and again until something clicks in your mind that says, yes, I get it. Because, honey, you need to rewire your mindset. If you think that 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years for some of y'all of training in belittling yourself, acting as though you're not worthy of all the things that you desire is suddenly going to be taken away in one click of a button, sorry, but no, it doesn't work that way. Invest in yourself. Come into the Abundance Library, start the process, continue the process of rewiring your mindset for increased happiness and prosperity. You deserve it, but only you can choose it. Nobody's going to come and hand it to you on a platter. You are the one that has to decide, you know what, I deserve to be happy. I need to change whatever is in my mind that is telling me that I don't get to be happy. Come into the Abundance Library. Message me the word abundance. I will get the link over to you so that you can make a start. It's your turn for fortune expansion if you are willing. Are you willing? Message me the word abundance. I'll get the details over to you. Share this video with somebody else. It's time for us all to awaken. There's so much more available to you, and all those dreams you carry inside of your heart, your vision is your permission. If you are willing to return home to yourself. Until the next time, much amazing love. Bye.